Hi, welcome back to My Cup of TV with Jenny,
JT,
and Kat.
So, ATEEZ.
Woo. We have a request.
I had an overwhelming urge to go, 8 makes one team! Yes, we do. We have a request from Mimi L. Hi, Mimi. So, she has requested Turbulence. Now, she has sent us a link for a live performance of Turbulence, but we were talking and we said, let's do the MV and then the live performance and do both.
Yeah, I lost track of actually. Well, I was like, no, it's
I know you're saying to me, we've done this.
I was like, haven't I shown it to you?
It was the finale
Illusion,
song
Aurora,
of the concert.
Dreamers. Oh right, okay. But I thought I'd shown you.
Maybe this song will actually upset me because I'll be like, this is what they sang before they left.
I'll come back.
Yeah. I could have easily just been a tearful mess hanging over that railing. Can you sing? Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, Turbulence. It's a lovely song, but it's also very sad in a way.
See?
Depends how you take it.
They left me.
But they say in a way it's almost like a little bit of a love letter to ATEEZ, because Turbulence is it's end of last year, end of 2021 it came out, and it's about wanting to be with someone special during your turbulent times. So it could be ATEEZ, and also just that turbulence of growing up and trying to find your place, and how scary that can be and how lonely that can be. So if you've got someone to lean on and anchor you and give you that sense of belonging and a little bit of camaraderie, it can be such a massive comfort rather than feeling so isolated and lonely. So lots of sort of meanings in there. But yeah, some people say it's a bit of a love letter to ATEEZ from ATEEZ.
Am I not ATEEZ? I am. It's to me. I qualify. So please remember to like, comment and subscribe. Over on Patreon we're a week ahead on ATEEZ videos, and we have PO box down below. And is there anything for the comments? I can't think of something. Just comment something. And don't forget to follow us on social media. We post stuff we're doing on there. Just life. I make it sound so exciting. I appreciate that they give me this as a little warm up. This was the music at the end of another MV when they did a bit with Yosang.
Yeah, I think it's at the end of the reel.
Oh, pink hair. I love that. His deep voice with, you know,
I think that's such a good shot.
June in leather. Do you know what I found odd about that? Is as much as I love watching MVs and I love all the visuals and I love looking at them all, they're so gorgeous. That is a song I thought I kind of want to just close my eyes and just be in the song, you know?
Yeah. I really love all the cinematography, and that is it does a really good job of being beautiful but being lonely at the same time. Like I thought the shot with San in the elevator, where it's on that left side of the screen, and then the rest of the city, it's really interesting because he's actually in a barrier that's separating him from everyone else. He's actually isolated physically from everything else, and that could just be like a representation of how that feels, that you are, you know, almost having that barrier between you and others and things like that. Just a lot of the shots I think were really beautiful but really lonely at the same time. They're very good at making you feel isolated and overwhelmed.
I tell you what stood out for me in this one that I loved, but not that I don't love how they normally do things. I feel like this one wasn't overwhelmed with a lot of Hongjun and Mingi.
Yeah.
Because normally they get a lot in songs, and I love that. I love how they do it. But this one I felt like we got a lot more. And do you know what, actually? I didn't feel like it was overwhelmingly Jongho either.
No.
As much as all of their parts
nice
were
and balanced,
amazing.
actually.
It was much more balanced.
Yeah.
I feel like I got to hear so much more of San's vocal, which was lovely. Because as much as I love Jongho's vocal, they rely really heavily on him. I imagine if they were performing live and he was sick, as much as they would manage without him, it would be like a shit.
Yeah.
Like, we've got a lot to cover here.
Yeah. Absolutely. And indeed, we heard him do that live.
Yeah.
So.
And again, he's so amazing. He always does his notes. But it was lovely to hear more of San.
Yeah.
I loved hearing Yosang and Yuno's harmonies together. That was lovely. The deep and the higher tone.
Yeah, because they do. They've got a really nice complementary range of sounds and timbres within ATEEZ, which is nice. They know how to use them quite well.
And I feel like I actually got to hear Woo Young's voice now.
Yeah.
Because I feel like through it, I'm like, I won't be able to pick him out. I don't know if I can still pick him out. Yeah, I mean, just one listen. But
you can hear
more of him. I really
got
to hear his voice.
Yeah. And it'll be good as well because, like you said, this next request from Mimi is them doing it live, so we'll be able to see that as well.
Yeah. And there's only one small part of it, and I'm like, I want more of that because I love it when they do that in songs. It's when Mingi and Hongjun rap together like a line each, and they're like bouncing off each other. I love it when they do that.
Yeah.
And they did it with like, one small part in this, and I'm like, no, keep going.
Yeah. I mean, again, a little bit like...
Again, this is me really fussy, like, I want...
No, well, I mean, again, it's like with their same generation as Stray Kids, really. So they're at the beginning of a long career. So we're hoping that, obviously, you know, we've got the Demon line, they've got, you know, rappers in it, you've got vocalists, things like that. So we're hoping that
we just get more and more.
Get more little sub-unit songs as well. So we will get to hear more of them. So if that's what ATEEZ want to do. Yeah. So, yeah.
And I always hear the fix on now. But what I loved in this one...
He said it so softly.
Yeah, is it was a different fix on. Normally you get fix on like, are you ready?
Pay me attention, yeah.
Whereas this was like, come on.
Yeah, and he doesn't actually say it in every single song.
No.
He doesn't. But yeah, you're right, he did say it in this song, but he says
normally
it very softly.
I feel like he bursts in a door going, fix on, but this is more like he puts his arm around you and going, fix on.
Oh.
Like, listen here.
Yeah. Let's talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a lovely song though.
Yeah.
I didn't pay much attention to lyrics.
Oh, okay. It's worth just
it felt
looking at the lyrics another time.
comforting.
Yeah, because they say like I just need someone. Can you just embrace me? Tell me it's going to be okay. That kind of thing. And so that's why I think Turbulence is such an apt title for it, and how that you have those feelings through growing up, and you can have those at any time in life.
And there were two parts in the MV that I felt were turbulence, like. Was it Woo Young who was running and then was going up? But he was like fighting his way up. Like he was having to.
Yeah.
And then Hongjun in the tunnel, there's like the wind. He was like having to brace himself against it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And I think it's nice because it's got a little bit of hope in it as well. Like there's hope towards the end. Woo Young does start sort of flying almost, and you're like, oh, okay, maybe he's getting somewhere. But yeah, no, it's really nice.
I mean, there was a comfort from the song.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Because you see, that's our love letter to ATEEZ. So they're saying like you're our grounding light in that, and that's why at the end of the concert they said getting your phones out and the lights, and it was really that's what.
It's a bit like what I said about Mingy's Fix On. It's almost like the whole song was them putting an arm around you and going, "It's okay, come on, come on."
But I think it's also that's maybe what ATEEZ is a comfort to them as well. So it's them singing about their own turbulence as well.
Who let Hongjun wear a leather jacket and have black hair? Who okayed that?
I know.
I didn't agree to that. I wasn't ready for that.
Do you know what the best flex is? He did, because he's the captain. He can approve himself. He can approve whatever he wants.
Yes, captain. Also, I don't know whether it's something to do with their universe or whatever, but San was in the back of like a car at one point, and he had a logo on his jacket. It was the same logo as what Yosang had on his jacket, because again Yosang's was like he was stuck because he was sat in exactly the same position through the whole thing. He didn't move, and like you saw the light changing like time was passing, and he was just sat.
I think San is actually possibly in the back of a bus, and it could be the same school bus that they have in Thanks. Is it Thanks they have that in?
Yeah, they're yellow school.
And then Yosang's in the classroom, and the song they did before that was The Real. And so I just wondered if there were little nods in there to their other MVs, and they're saying that these are different situations that people are going to go through in their youth and whatnot.
Out of all of them, you will come.
But you can feel very isolated in those situations, you know.
Because was like at a window, wasn't he? Like shut away almost, looking out at the world.
Yeah. And,
which again could be partly them as idols.
Yeah.
We're shut in our own little bubble, looking at the world around us, not being able to go out and just participate freely.
Disconnected. And I think Jongho was at the top of a building just looking out over the city. Yeah. So, yeah, there's lots of possible meanings in there.
Mingy.
But that's the way I take it anyways. That's why Yosang was in the classroom and Sam was on that bus. I just thought it was linked to other MVs. But I could be wrong.
Junho was on a bridge, I think, and Mingy was on top of a building. But for them, it could be that kind of, we're looking at like the world is our oyster, but we're still here looking at it. We're not part of it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because again, when you're younger, how many people say to you like, "Yeah, the world is your oyster. You can go do anything." You're like, "I can't though, can I?"
Well, also,
not anything just like that.
Well, also that could be overwhelming. Yeah. To just be
like, where do you start?
Yeah, literally, as in you like if you finish school and then you go, it's life, and you're like, oh my god, like it's almost like you get overwhelmed from the amount of choice.
Yeah.
And then the weight of, well, what if I choose wrong? It's usually not until later in life that you realise I was going to be okay. Like I can make a couple of choices and I can find my way,
and I can go wrong and come back.
But when you're faced with that, literally open doors, the world is your oyster. That's terrifying.
That's what I mean. It's like, where do we start?
Yeah. Because it's almost like we use that all the time. It's like me looking at a menu in a restaurant.
Yeah.
I want it all, so I can't decide. So
what if I pick this and you get that, and then I want that?
Yeah, exactly. Food envy. But having limited choices, I'm not saying limited. Sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad. But at least if you had some direction or some minimised, but literally to say to someone, it's all on you now. Choose whatever you want. You're like, oh my god, that can be terrifying.
Hongjun's is the opposite of that, because he's in a tunnel, almost like I've picked my route and now I have to keep going on it. I can't. I can't divert. I have
freedom.
Yeah. And that's maybe why he's fighting against the wind as well. It's like, it's hard, it's pushing me back, but I have to keep going because I don't have another option.
I thought it was interesting that it was like a little twister that he was in the middle of. So even within the tunnel, there was like the, what do they call them? Yeah, twister, little whirlwind.
Tornado.
Yeah, that's it. Which can be symbolic of that turbulence that they're singing about. Yeah. No, lots of stuff in there.
So many different bits we took from that without realising I did.
Yeah. Well done. You weren't just looking at how hot they were.
They were hot though.
Beautiful.
When are they not?
Exactly. But on the face of it, a lovely song as well. Like you said, you could just close your eyes and listen to it. And again, for me, it's sad, but there's also a slight hopefulness in there as well, which makes sense why they would sing it at the end of a concert. So...
Okay, so let's watch them sing it live.
Ooh.
Live vocal. I'll be honest, I'm most excited to hear Woo Young and Yo Sang Be My Biases, and that I don't hear their vocal enough.
Yeah.
And San.
Yeah.
Because again, I'm watching MVs and hearing songs and I'm like, I know what you've got, San. Because I watched you sing Star 117 live and I watched you hit that long high note, so I know.
He's got a lovely
Stop hiding it from me. That hat on. Your son could be a little chimney sweep.
Well, that white jacket won't stay white for long.
No. Looks kind of smug, but I like it.
He looks like his Labrador son.
He does, doesn't he? It doesn't help the hair colour is very golden retriever.
Yeah.
Songhwa, that's boyfriend material. Look at that.
Yeah.
That's when you take home to meet your parents, you bring him to meet your friends, and everyone falls in love with him.
He looks nicer. He looks very... Still nice and put together, but he looks quite normal, which is nice, just in his jeans and his jacket. That looks really nice.
Like how he has to bounce with it. It's nice to hear him sing.
None of them could stop moving.
Yeah.
Like, they're all really in it.
Yes, I was at Jongho. Like, oh, wow. Do you know what I mean? He looked at him for a moment, also he was impressed. Like, oh,
He gets that look a lot when he
Yeah.
when he belts, and then they're like,
I love the sound of his voice when he belts.
oh, that's very good.
Very good. I think I just fell in love with a bit. He's very lovable. Do you know what I mean?
He is.
It's like, not that he's not hot, but I'm not looking at him going, oh my god, he's so hot. I'm looking at him like, oh, I just can't love you.
Not that I want to convince you otherwise, but he can turn it on.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Oh, wait, but I haven't showed you yet his solo Cakey Fellas dance.
No, but that dance challenge thing they did when he was twerking.
Best you in hell.
Yeah. Yeah, they all sounded great.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's nice to see him. Do you know, there was more songwriting in that than I realised.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, watching that, do they use him as that kind of stable vocal?
He is a stable, usually used, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Whilst maybe San and Jong Ho are doing belts and higher parts, he's that steady vocal. Him and Yuno.
The person I probably get the least singing wise or listening wise, again, it's difficult line distribution.
Yeah.
They're very fair and they must try to be, but
It's so hard with that many.
It's Yosang, to be honest.
Yeah.
But also I think Yosang would be fairly, from what I've heard of his voice so far, I think he would be fairly difficult to give certain parts for because his voice is quite low.
Yeah.
I think he's naturally a baritone. He's not quite as deep as
Felix.
V from BTS or Felix, but he is a baritone, so he has a deeper tone to his voice. So it would be difficult in the middle of depending on what key the song is in, to give him a line in the middle that would sound out of place because he would be deeper. But I don't know if he's got, obviously, to sing in falsetto.
He might also be
sure.
one of those people that actually they use his voice in places we're not realising.
For sure.
In the back. Do you know what I mean?
Get that.
There's layering in that we're not...
always get that with basses and baritones. They're so underappreciated.
Yeah.
But if you were to not have it there, it would feel like the arse was scooped out of a song.
Yeah.
You'd be like, oh, this feels so empty. So they are usually very, very trusted vocalists to take a bass or a baritone, usually is the foundation of a song.
What I do find interesting is watching Mingy rap is that I know that this is not a jump around song, but I think he might find it harder because he bops a bit, but I feel like when he raps he uses his whole body. So in a song that doesn't require it or a performance that doesn't require it, he's a bit more, he bops a bit, but it's like I would normally see him really...
Yeah, and it might be because that's his way, some sort of physical counter to keep his beat. So he might find it very difficult to stay still. I mean, singers would as well. They'll keep their own time in a different way.
Yeah.
But if it's a slower song, for a singer, it could just literally be as like a tap on the mic or their foot or something. But with rappers who are, usually their bars are slightly faster, that's possibly why he's finding it difficult to stand still, because he needs to keep his time somehow.
Yeah. Not that I'd expect him to stand still.
No,
you Mingy.
Yeah, and it's not like.
But then Hongjun looked much more relaxed in his.
But even Hongjun didn't. None of them actually stood still.
No,
really. I think the ones who stood the most still were Yuno and Yosang.
Yeah.
But even Hongjun was moving back and whatnot. So it might just be that they need a little physical counter for themselves.
So what else I found really interesting is I was watching, obviously and listening, when Woo Young had his parts, and I thought. It's not often I think this about people, or maybe I'm just really noticing it with him. You know how you could hear someone... Okay, let's use Adele as an example. Her speaking voice and her singing voice are so different.
Yeah.
When Woo Young was singing, I was like, I totally hear it with his speaking voice. So it really...
Oh, you think it does match?
Yeah.
Okay. Because he's quite high. I think he's a tenor. So his voice is actually quite high.
I just thought, it really matches up for his speaking voice.
Yeah, I mean, he does, because he doesn't have like a deep voice, does he?
No.
His mischievous little high tones. So, yeah, his singing voice matches him well. I think the most, as it were, mismatched, but beautiful, is Yosang.
Yeah.
Because that was such an elfish looking beautiful person comes this deep voice, and you're like, oh, right.
That's what I mean. It's like that Yeosang and Felix from Stray Kids, that kind of pixie-like look, and the voice.
Yeah. So it's interesting. But yeah, no, they were some really nice, and it looked like they were just relaxed and being themselves. And again, it's nice, well, at any time, but you know that they have the raw talent because there was nothing to hide behind there.
No.
And so they can deliver. Yeah. Yeah.
I really do love them. Okay. So that was our reaction to Turbulence. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.